Hey everybody, Anthony Fontana here from our home here on Long Island, Alive After 5. Just wanted to say hi, and as the topic tonight's going to be a little bit about empathy, because I do a lot of reading, and this trait comes up a lot in conversations with leaders and people that I know, and I notice these traits in a lot of the people that I feel are very strong leaders. I think to be successful in life, you need to be relatable to as many people as possible, because you can't live your life in a vacuum. If you're in business, if you're in sales, if you're in any kind of opportunity that requires you to communicate with people, then understanding the skill set of empathy and developing the skill set of empathy, I think it's critical. What's the difference between empathy and sympathy? Sympathy is, you feel sorry for somebody, but empathy is you're putting yourself in their shoes. You're putting yourself in their life, basically, and understanding where they're coming from, whatever they are, whatever's going on. There's there's three ways to do it. The first and foremost is think like a Marine. A Marine's entire philosophy when they're out in the field is to take care of the other individual. Their whole goal in life is to make sure that their team is okay, their fellow soldier their fellow Marine is okay, that the team is okay before themselves. And there are Marines that will stop a bullet for the guy next to them, which is what makes Marines very effective. I think that's critical. It's a critical trait. It's a willingness to put yourself ahead, or put someone else's needs ahead of your own. That's pure empathy. And when you're able to do that successfully and do it really with truth, with a real value toward doing it, I think it's going to help you. I mean, humans aren't a means to an end, to a transaction or some idea that you have. They're part of the process that helps you develop your world, and you have to put people first. I think it's critical. Second thing I think you should do is ask questions. And I noticed that when I talk to people and I ask a lot of questions, the conversation always gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and I end up really solid in the relationship. What's going on, John? John, new friend of mine, John Kim. How are you, brother? Tommy Marr, always on here, always on here. So, probing and thoughtful questions are key. I mean, I was on the phone all day today. I'm on the phone a lot. And bring people I've never met before. So when I'm calling someone I've never met, the last thing I want to do is start talking about why I'm making the call. Even though they know why I'm making the call. They may have asked me to make a phone call. I am on the phone with them and I'm finding out about them. I am drilling down, I'm asking them questions because I want to get to know them. It's part of my process of how I feel that my success comes. I know that people have issues. I know people have things going on. And by asking thoughtful, probing questions, I'm able to develop an understanding and a closer friendship with them. Hi, George. How are you, buddy? So being curious, I think, is cool. I've always been curious. Ever since I was a little boy, I've always been curious about things, how things work, how people talk. I'm always wondering about the verbiage coming out of people. I'm very, very, very excited about getting to know people. I'm very curious about things. And when you're curious about people and you're asking probing questions that elicit emotional responses, then you're going to develop a stronger understanding of what their life is about. And if you're in any kind of a service-oriented operation or business, or you're just looking to develop a new friend, you'll have a better understanding on how to treat them and what not to do and how to go and what direction to move in. And I think that's a very powerful thing. Leaders that employ empathy, they develop influence. It's because they can relate to more people and relate to people on a more personal level than your average individual. And when you can connect with people, on a personal level, anyone that connects with me, that treats me with this kind of respect and asks me a lot of questions, they're going to inspire me. They're going to motivate me. They're going to empower me. And your job should be to do that for other people. So if you're involved in anyone's life, then you need to have an ability to empower and encourage and develop other individuals, elevating other people before you elevate yourself. Be the shoulder that people stand on. I think that's incredible, because what will happen is you'll get pulled up. It's just the nature of the beast. And I think the third thing I think is very important is learning to listen. We have one mouth and two ears for a reason. So you listen twice as much as you speak. And we've all done this. I'm guilty of it. Everyone is guilty of it. You're in a conversation with someone and they're talking. The only thing you're thinking about is, I got to tell them something. And you haven't heard a word that they said. I'm definitely guilty of it. It's a process to not do that. but I think doing it is definitely necessary. So learn to listen. A great leader listens a lot. They ask a lot of questions. They listen to the responses. They're introspective. They study and understand what's being said to them. They develop an awareness of the speech of someone else coming to them. They understand it because they're listening to it. And the more knowledge that they have, the more knowledge that they garner from having a nice one-on-one conversation where they're eliciting great responses to questions and they're understanding the answers to those questions, then I think they're going to be considered and looked at as more compassionate and caring. And when you're compassionate and caring, and people sense that you're compassionate and caring, the doors will open up for you. So the purpose of this talk is real simple. Learn to put other people ahead of yourself. Learn to ask questions of other people because you want to understand who you're talking to, and definitely learn to listen more. Listen twice as much as you talk. And again, if you're in business, if you're dealing with customers, serve them, don't sell them. If you're dealing with colleagues, check in. Ask them how they're doing and actually listen to their responses. Don't be the guy that walks by and says, how are you, how are you, how are you? And you really could care less. Stop and have a 1-minute conversation or even a 30-second conversation with one of your colleagues because you just don't know what happened that night or the day before or the night that morning. You don't know. And by having the willingness to step out a little bit and stop being so gosh darn busy, I think you're going to have some success. I think you're going to have a better time of it. And I think your life is going to be even better. And you're going to touch a lot more lives. So with that, I'm going to finish up a little glass of a 10-year-old Tawny Port because I'm celebrating a very, very important event tomorrow in my family's life. We'll talk more about this tomorrow when it happens, maybe while it's happening. I'm excited about it, and I'm just pumped up about it. And I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm so excited. Hey, Beth, how are you? Yeah, listening is the key, Beth. No doubt about that. Felix, why don't you give me a buzz tomorrow? If you're still on here, I want to speak to you. I'd love to get together with you for a bite to eat. So with that, have a great night, guys. Enjoy the rest of the night, and find your path because you're worth it. I love you guys. Have a great night.